GETTYGermany news, Angela Merkel coalition on the brink as migration row erupts with summer looming. European Union member states have been feuding over how to avoid a repeat of the 2015 migrant crisis. But the issue has now threatened to deal a hammer blow to Ms Merkel's leadership. The German Chancellor is walking a fine line after she was forced to further dilute her grand coalition after a surge of support for right-wing movement. The Alternative for Deutschland profited, during last year's election, from her decision to open German borders to over 1 million migrants in 2015. A leading German economist has described the migration feud as the worst crisis faced by Ms Merkel in her 13 years leading the country. With Ms Merkel's leadership in a precarious position, her Bavarian allies, the CSU, have demanded Germany rejects migrants who have already registered in another country, such as Italy or Greece, where they land. The policy, proposed by Interior Minister Horst Seehofer, is opposed by the German Chancellor as she rejects any reserve to her open-door policy. The situation is serious, but it can be overcome. Horst Seehofer. Ms Merkel could be forced to sack Mr. Seehofer, who is also the CSU's chairman, if he was to defy her leadership and enforce the strategy. The rift has put in jeopardy the 70-year-old alliance between the CSU and Ms Merkel's Christian Democrats. Such breakdown in their relationship would leave the German Chancellor's grand coalition, which also includes the Social Democrats, without a parliamentary majority. Mr. Seehofer has warned the cohesion of Europe and Germany is at stake, adding, "The situation is serious but it can be overcome." Ahead of June's EU summit, Germany's interior minister urged leaders to guarantee the protection of the bloc's external borders, fairly distribute people allowed to stay and quickly return those without the right to do so. CSU leaders are meeting today in order to finalize its position before further discussions with Ms Merkel ahead of the June summit. The CSU is defending its rule in Bavaria prior to next October's regional elections. The party is concerned it could lose support over its immigration policy, with AfD waiting to counter. Polls suggest the CSU could lose its absolute majority in the Bavarian state parliament in a replay of its general election disaster last September. Ms Merkel's conservative movement suffered its worst nationwide result since 1949, losing out to the AfD. The populist AfD has 15% support in a recent poll conducted by EMNID and published in Bildungssonntag. The combined CDU-CSU group also gained a point, scoring 33%. Holger Schmieding, chief economist at Berenberg Bank, has described the feud as Ms Merkel's worst crisis in her 13-year premiership. He said, "This is definitely the worst crisis she has faced in her 13 years as German Chancellor." The economist added it would unlikely affect her position, because even her opponents from the CSU will not dare to bring down the government. That would hurt the CSU as well and not just Merkel. Mr. Schmieding concluded.